Oh, there we go. What's up, Dan?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Joystick Junkies. Hope everyone's having a good night tonight. How you doing, Evan?
I'm doing well. I love the games we picked out this week. I've been playing a little bit of each since we discovered it. Oh man, listen, the one game I have is literally sitting in a box right behind me. I
Yeah.
got all of them. I have all three of them. The other one, I have two of them because two of them are all my favorite games.
Oh, I
But let's
played
get
all
into the game.
those.
Let me get into the game you picked this week. Uncharted.
Well, I picked the Uncharted series. Um, I think all four games are great. I
Oh,
think the
so
best
good.
two, obviously, are probably 2 and 4. Because
Agreed.
you
Agreed.
know
I love.
because the like for anybody to know, Uncharted is like your Nathan Drake. And his great 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 grandfather was like a pirate, like a treasure hunter, like an
Yeah.
explorer. So basically, you basically go and you basically finish what his father started and what his family started. And the Drake family is a popular family, and they're always looking after treasure. It's always it's like action adventure. So you go exploring. The cinematic, the cinematics are great in the game. The cinematic scenes, and that's probably one of the best things about the game is you're always on the edge. But it
Yes.
has exploring and action, and it's kind of like a shooter action kind of RPG. So it's one of my favorite series on PlayStation. I played them all. Um,
Yes.
so I'm gonna go back and play them again, like because I think they're gonna put it on PC. So I would love to play it again. I mean, it's such a great game. What do you think about Uncharted?
See, I
There
didn't
is
play
a
the first
movie.
one. Yes,
J.K.R.
there is a
Spencer
movie.
says there is a movie. I watched the movie. The movie is not bad. Some of the scenes in the movie are some of the scenes from the game, but obviously you
Yeah,
can't pack like 30 hours, like 3, 4 30-hour games into that. Do you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like, so you can't put that into a show. It'd have to be like a series, like The Last of Us.
For me, I picked up the second one when it came out because the second one was I seen a commercial for it. I was like, oh, it looks pretty cool. And I seen one thing that got me. It said the first 10 out of 10 IGN game. It was rated the first game to ever get a 10 out of 10 ever on like multiple platforms. It was the perfect game. And you
Yep.
gotta remember, this is the time the second one came out was like prime Call of Duty era. So I was
Oh
like
yeah.
in COD. So I was like, let me try this out. I won't forget the first level, waking up on the train and you gotta climb your way off the cliff, off the train, and then get into the snow and then you go back in time. And
Yep.
I was like, oh, this is so cool. It's like parkour mixed with guns, and also
Yep.
what you forgot to mention here, the puzzles. The puzzles are not easy at all in this
No, they
game.
aren't.
So like you gotta like, especially the second one, which I played, the was it the Thieves? It's not Thieves End.
Thieves End.
That's the second one.
I'm pretty sure it's the second one. It's Thieves End.
Yeah, that one or the fourth one. Not the fourth one was the Thieves End, but the fourth one, I didn't play the third one. I wasn't really interested in it. Like, during that time, like Call of Duty had ramped up. But playing the second one, I've played that one so many times, and
Yeah.
just the fun missions in it. Shambhala, you know,
It's
the
the first one.
Guardians of Shambhala. Exactly, the Guardians of Shambhala. How they were
Hmm.
weak to the bows and arrow, but
Yeah.
they like would tank like AK-47 bullets, which I thought
Yeah.
was funny.
Yep.
But I remember the funny part. I remember being stuck in the temple with the mirrors puzzle,
Oh yeah, we got to
and the
shot. You got to
light.
shine the light in different directions.
I was stuck on that forever. Like, I did not know how. I had to look up a tutorial like 3 months later on how to beat that.
Yeah. Yeah. The puzzles are great. I mean, some of them are easy. That one wasn't tough, but some of them are easy. Some of them take a while because you have to do like multiple steps to them. And you're going
Yeah,
in like tombs and like hidden cities and that kind of stuff. It's all like mystery oriented. There's also a lot of climbing, a lot of like doing ropes and jumping over gaps. Like that's probably where I died the most is trying to jump to a ledge or jump a gap. or
The infamous
get a
assassin.
rope. Yeah, get a rope and try and make it to the other side. Like some of the climbing is a lot of fun, and that's one of the best things about it is the parkour and the running. There are certain levels where you gotta like climb a whole lot, and you gotta look, and you gotta look like where you're at, and you figure it out. Um,
Yeah.
but like, but then like there's those moments where it's quiet and you're by yourself. Then all of a sudden, shit hits the fan. You know what I mean? And then you're like,
Well,
the cover system I like, and you're like getting fired on from all sides. You could use, it's crazy. It's great. It's a lot of fun.
what gets me was Nathan Drake is such a good character, such
Oh yeah,
lighthearted, but yet he kills so many people. Just a
yeah.
mass
Well,
murderer.
yeah. Well, he has to defend himself. I mean, people are trying to take him out like the whole time.
No, no, no,
Like
no, no.
every game,
When you
everyone's
can
trying. It's
sneak up
always
on
someone else
people,
coming after him. You know?
you can sneak up on people and snap their neck. No, it's like, come on now.
Yeah. It's definitely not a game like it's definitely a certain age level, but like I said, it's probably one of the most fun games I've enjoyed the most, especially in the PlayStation era. Of all the PlayStation exclusives, Uncharted series is probably the best series, one of the best, and in Sony, entertainment history.
Yeah,
You know,
I think
so
it's. I think that's what started Sony's interest in. What's up, Pop? Pop will remember buying me this
so
game. He
Mike,
bought. I remember him buying it for me. He would sit there and watch it because one thing about Uncharted was it looked like a movie. It played like a movie.
oh yeah,
It was so easy to follow. Um, Playing the second one, my favorite. Playing the second one was so much fun, especially during the train level, like going
yep,
through the train, shooting,
yep,
and then
yeah.
you had to fight the boss, and like the boss was
The
like
train was
you couldn't.
tough.
Very tough, very tough, and I remember spending like a month on that. It's one of the longest. It's one of the shortest games I beat going around the second time, but the
Yeah,
first time it was one of the longest games beaten. It took me like 3 4 months to beat, just because
yeah,
shooting's on par. The shooting's good, the puzzles are good, the acrobatics and climbing are good, but mix them all together, it's really one tough challenge.
yeah. And I think one of the best thing is the characters in the film.
Yes,
Sully is probably one of the best characters,
I
in
was a
all
Chloe
the
fan. I like
series.
Chloe. I like Chloe.
Chloe's great too, but I really like the
How he
relationship.
picked Elena? I don't know how he picked Elena over Chloe. I'm sorry, I would not
I
pick
don't.
Elena over Chloe.
Yeah, definitely not. But like the back and forth between Sully and and Nathan, I think
Yeah,
story wise, that's what makes the game so great. Is the story is excellent, you know,
yeah,
and like the third game is great, but the fourth game is unbelievable. Also, unbelievable.
yeah.
Like I
Bringing
thought it
Sam
was
into it.
great. Yeah,
I thought
bringing
the
his
whole
brother into
pirate
it. Yeah.
getaway and stuff was so
Yep.
good. I thought it was really the added graphic of bringing rope play into it,
Yeah.
swinging from ropes and stuff. I
Yep.
thought that was real fun because it really created a lot of combos and a lot of I always like finding hidden gems. So
Yeah.
finding the treasure in those games really sticks out for me.
Well, that's what I always did. I was search every nook and cranny of every like level, like every
Yeah,
single nook and cranny, because there's a lot of stuff you could explore and find in that.
yeah,
So I always like doing that, like getting those achievements, and that's one of the best things about Uncharted series is the exploration is just so much fun. If you like that type of stuff, like looking for treasure, looking for stuff, you know, shooters, parkour, it's got everything. It's got everything
yeah.
in it. So
Definitely
you
does.
know,
I thought the second one was the best story overall, but I did like 3 and 4.
yeah, but it's all one story. It's all one story between Nathan Drake and Sam, and and Sam's family, and you go back to like when he was a kid in some of them, so it's all four games are one continuous story. It's just a continuation of that story. There's
I
always a
did like the
different
fourth one where you had to
protagonist.
like sneak through the orphanage. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, when you're yeah, like because it does flashbacks, it goes back in time. Like especially two does that. Two will go forward and back and forward and back. You know,
Yeah,
like like there are certain levels like. that's what I like about it. It kind of brings you back, but I like the way they did each game, and every game is excellent. Every single one is good. I
Yeah.
don't think I think they're all at least 8.5, like 8.5. Two of them are tens. I would say
Yes.
2 and 4 are a 10. I would say
Definitely.
one is like an 8.59, and three is like an 8.75. I'd say. But they're all great.
I think
All
three
great.
came out too soon. I think three was rushed. They would have gave it a little bit more time. We could have
Yeah.
had 3 and 4 on the PS4. It looked a lot better.
Oh, it looked
But
amazing on the
also,
PS4.
after all the carnage you do in the second game, they
Yeah.
had to like up it somehow.
Yeah.
And so
Of
like, all
course.
the things up was like falling out of the airplane into the desert. You're like, okay, I get it, but how lucky is this guy?
Like that part.
He's
That part
so
is
lucky.
crazy. That whole part. That's on the cover. I think.
Yeah,
Like that part. But that part is absolutely nuts. And that's the best thing about those the Uncharted games is the cinematic sequences. The action cinematic
yeah.
sequences, which are unbelievable. Like you're like at the edge of your seat, and you feel your heart pounding 100 miles an hour because it's just so intense. That's one of the best things about the Uncharted series. They did such a great job on is just those types of scenes in the games. You know what I mean?
Move on then.
So but as me and Everett say, we both love the Uncharted series. I kind of wish they would make a fifth one. I kind of wish they would make
And
another
they
one.
already said that the Uncharted series is done. Like
Oh, probably. You can't squeeze more out of a series sometimes.
yeah.
It's like
They knew
anything.
when to quit
Sometimes,
though. They knew when to
yeah,
quit. And we
yeah,
also always had remasters. Like definitely a 1 and 2 remaster coming up soon on PS5 or
that's great.
whatever PS4
Yeah,
is coming up. That should definitely be on their list.
they
It
should do
has to
remasters
be.
and put them on PC also, because
Oh
a lot of
yeah,
PC
definitely.
players have not played those games because there are people that are strictly PC gamers.
PC.
They are not console
Well,
gamers.
if anybody gets like a PC, like I'm just saying, like there's a PC only, it's
Yeah,
always I see that it's always PlayStation titles that want to
yeah.
bring them out. What's going on Joystick Junkies? We are talking Uncharted, Mr. Cowboy Dave. A little bit ahead of
Yeah,
your time.
yeah.
Your
I,
time is
I wonder if he's
flawless.
ever played that. Here we
Out
go.
of
Out of the
Box
box.
News Network. Breaking news: John Schwab, the voice of over 60 main characters. Yes, Jack Ryan in the series, joined us. He played on recently Atomic Hearts. He played in.
Yep,
He also
yep.
played
He's
in
the
the Crisis series.
he's the guy you go after. I can't remember his name at the moment. The
Yeah,
Russian guy, the scientist guy. You're like chasing after him the whole time. He does that
yeah.
voice, and I thought that
Exactly.
voice was
So
done well.
this guy is
You
a
know,
very accomplished voice actor. We are lucky enough to have somebody who knows him, and he's
absolutely.
excited to come on the show with us. I can't wait because Crisis. I played a multiplayer of it. I really liked it, but
Yep,
I thought Atomic Hearts was very underrated for what it was,
it's
and I
good.
can't wait to get back. I can't
It's
wait.
like it's like the Dishonored games, kind of like the
Yeah, I never played the
same kind of
Dishonored games
style.
though.
But I like that. I like that. Like that game, I'm like, searching through everything. But having having him on will be great. Eileen says, "Hi, peoples. Hi, Eileen. How are you?"
I mean,
But he also did Dandelion in The Witcher 3 in the video game.
oh
I love
yeah, well,
like
there's a lot of
he did
titles
that
that.
voice, which is so cool. He's so good in that game. So I thought that was interesting.
See,
Right?
there's a lot of modern RPGs I don't play because it's just not my style. Like that whole fantasy
Yep.
RPG stuff, like Witcher, I'm just not interested in.
Oh,
But
I
I know
love
it's
The
still a
Witcher.
good series.
Oh
And,
yeah.
I still like it. So
Yeah, yeah, it's a great series. I played probably every RPG there is. Mako has some connections. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So we're excited to have him on. I'm excited to
our
ask him
our,
questions
our
about.
co-host on our co-host on Friday, Stacy is personally to thank for our guest coming up. So we want to thank her.
Well,
We'll thank
thank
Stacy
you
for that
very
one.
much. But I'm excited to ask him about how you get hired for that. If he has any other projects coming up, he might not be able to say, but it'd be interesting to talk to someone that does voice acting in video games. You know,
Yeah,
it seems like that's what
and
he's done the
I would
most.
love an inside scoop, man, just on something.
Yeah,
Hey, what you working on
exactly.
now? Like, you working on anything good? Like, I'll ask him off camera. I don't care. Mom's give him little something just for us.
Yeah, right. So we're excited to have him on. So 3 weeks. I think that'll be a really good show. I think that'll be a good time. He said, no, he just had a crush on him in high school. That's all. Never talked to him. Ella. Oh
I don't
man.
believe that. Stacy pulled the strings here. Well, no, yeah, like I said, Uncharted though, man. Uncharted is top of the line. I think really what brought PlayStation exclusives back.
Oh yeah.
You know, the,
Oh yeah.
that and Killzone. Killzone gets a lot of
Also, the
gets a
God
lot
of
of
War
hush on it.
series. Also, the God of War
Yeah,
series
God of
also
War was always
is
there
another
too.
one
I
for
think those are the
PlayStation.
staples.
Yeah. So, but now I want to go back and play Uncharted. I haven't played Uncharted like in a while. I played all four of them, and I played a couple of them more than once. Like I played four
I
more
played
than once.
I played two so much.
Two
Like
is
I can't
unbelievable.
remember. I played two because I love the after chapter three
Yeah. Yep.
when you're tagging along gets
Hmm.
captured. Let's put it
Yep.
that way. The rain coming down and you gotta be stealthy and
Yep.
I always messed up in combat. So if I were going around just shooting people, my dad would get mad at me watching because I would do dumb stuff like I would jump over this gap and just run up and punch somebody while he's shooting me
Yeah,
and
but
do a
then you
hit
get shot.
combo. Yeah, and he's
Because you
like,
have
I keep
enemies.
dying, my dad's like, dude, shoot them. He's like, stop running up to him and punching everybody. He's like, you're not Superman. I'm like, no, I gotta do it my way. And I was like, 11 years old,
Well,
and I wanted
yeah.
to do it
Well,
my
in
way.
Uncharted, you got to use the cover system. Otherwise, you will not
Yeah,
survive. And that's me. I like games that have a good cover system, and that has one of the best. You can sneak up behind guys. You got to be on the move constantly. I always like to be in cover and peek out of cover. So Domingo says, I just went back and started Prince of Persia on 360. I was playing Prince of Persia, um, like the second one, not the Sands
you
of
know what Prince
Time,
of Persia I
but the
played?
second one.
You know which one I
Which one?
played? Assassin's Creed.
It's like that. Prince
If,
of Persia is
if,
great.
if
Like
you
Prince of
know, you
Persia is
know.
awesome. Yeah,
If you know
Assassin's
about
Creed,
it,
great. But have you ever played
Assassin's
Prince of Persia?
Creed. Assassin's Creed started out as a Prince of Persia game.
Well, yeah, that's what it was kind of like because it had platforming in it, and I always liked the running, but there were so many times. Mayako knows there's this level where you have to like jump all these gaps and like slide down these drapes and stuff like these long flags, and it took me so long. You have to swing and swing like in Prince of Persia, and I must have fallen and died so many times in that game. But the best thing about Prince of Persia games are you can rewind time and you can
Yeah,
slow down time. I
yeah.
that Prince of Persia I played uh, so much on 360. It's such a great series I think as well for 360 that is.
Well, we'll be finishing up with Uncharted here, but give me your thoughts. Like, what do you want from the series now? Now, like, do you want another game or do you want remasters?
Hold on. Oh yes, it took me 8 times to get. Oh, there are so many times I died so many times, um, but I mean I think you could do something like. I mean, you also have the Uncharted series with what's her name? Um, I forget what's called. It's like it's with like the girl, the woman he picks, and like her friend.
Oh, are you talking about Chloe and
Yes,
the Nadine?
yes, Chloe and Nadine, where it's them together, and that's the last Uncharted game. I just can't place the name of it at the moment because I'm so focused on the four. But I just can't name. It'll
I
pop into
think
my
it's
head probably.
Chronicles or
It's something like that. Something like that. But that game is not bad. That one I have not played.
something. I played that
So
one.
yeah, I haven't played that one. People, I mean, people love Nathan Drake in the series, but that's probably the only one I haven't played because I just I don't know
I
if it
think you
doesn't have
can get
Nathan
away with a
Drake, it's
new
different.
one. I think you can get away with a new one
Yeah,
if it had the same controls and the
yeah.
same kind of like mystery behind the treasure. I think you can get away with with a new one.
I think you can get away with another one. I think if you could do it with different characters. You could do it
Yeah,
with somebody else. You could do it with, you could do it with different characters. Just have a different story. You know what I mean? I don't know if you could do it. You could do it where Nathan Drake is old, like he's all gray haired and stuff, and he has no choice but to go after somebody, or you know,
yeah,
you could always create a story. It would be nice, but I think remasters are what they should do, because
yeah,
remastering the game just makes it so much better. They could remaster 1 and 2, I think, and put it in 4K. I think that would be unbelievable if they did that. Because to play the first one would be awesome in like a 4K,
yeah,
60 frames per second 4K, or 1800p or close to 4K. I think that would be awesome. I don't know if they're going to do
yeah.
it, but I think that would be great. You know?
All right. For me, I think it would be remasters. I think I'm gonna keep it short. Just remaster it. I think it's time for both of them to be remastered.
Well, yeah, because
But
there's so many games that deserve a remaster. Like
yeah,
there's so
definitely.
many games that need a remaster and deserve it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Or
but
a
yeah,
reboot, as in what we're gonna talk about right now. My
yep,
game of the week, Army of Two. And I wish Paul was feeling better because he's talked about this before.
yep,
Army of Two was one of the best games for the sixth generation consoles.
yeah.
Coming out, everybody wanted to play Army of Two. So it came out in 2007 in the early 2008 series, and right as it came out, it was better played two players. It was so fun to play.
Oh, co-op. It seems like it's
Yes,
fun co-op because
it really,
you're two guys, and you're being partners, and you cover for each other. You flank with you send the guy, you know I forget his name. You send one guy the other way, and you go around and flank people. I like the teamwork and co-op. It's a lot of fun when you're able to play with people. But I don't know if you can play that. You might be able to play that game online still. I haven't tried to play it online.
nah, it's the
You
servers
know,
are dead. They're
so
way dead.
you're not going to be able to find anybody to play with. But you could do the
It is
missions
quicker.
co-op. Says Mako says, yes, I lived on it for days at a time. Co-op, me and my boys, hours and hours game time. It's so much fun. I mean,
All right,
it's a
Michael,
lot of
I
fun.
gotta ask you a question. Were you a Rios fan or a Salem fan? Because I think I know who you are because there's a line in the game, and I'm sorry, these contractors are from the early '90s. They're
Yep.
early '90s Army Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, after their contracts done with the Army, they go to the private military contractors.
Uh huh.
After the September 11th attacks, they started making a lot more money because of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Exactly. Less
So they have a
contractors.
mission
Yep.
that, yes, thank you. I was a Rios
I
fan
like
myself
Rios. I
too.
play as Rios. I like Rios.
Rios is like the moral compass. He's like the good guy. Salem is
Yep.
the asshole.
Hmm.
But Salem, he's like, you know, he's like, got any big plans this week? He's like, yeah, I hope the fucking Cowboys win. He's like, he's like, big game this week. He's like, yeah. He's like, I got 10 G's on this game. He's like, two
It's
years
probably
ago, you didn't have
a
a
game
nickel.
versus us.
he's like,
It's
he's
oh
like, yeah,
07.
10. He's like, 2 years ago, you didn't have two nickels to rub together. And now you're, swimming in 10 G's. He's
Hmm.
like, yeah, because of this war. So it's kind of funny, Sam being a Cowboys fan and betting on the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I
but
always found it funny.
exactly. It's hilarious. I got something to say about the game. The coolest thing about the game, you can like high five each other, you know,
And then
and you can
smack
like
the shit out of each other,
and
too.
you can like smack the hell out of each other and headbutt each other. And I was just sitting there. I would sit there and just watch them just hit each other and punch each other, you know. And like I think that's one of the coolest things in the game, because it's like two dudes just like you know knocking each other around. You know what I mean? Punching each
Brothers. Like,
other and
it's like
stuff
they
like
have
that.
that brotherly bond, like, yo,
Yeah.
dumbass, just smack them.
Oh, the saw gun is crazy. The M249
Yeah.
saw gun is wild. It has so
The
much
best thing to
ammo
do in that
too.
game is, like I said, you're a private military contractor, so you make money
Yeah.
as you go along.
Yep. And you buy
So you get to
weapons and
customize
stuff.
these guns, and these guns are not cheap.
Yeah.
Like the M29 Soul is like $20,000, and it's like
Yeah.
that's a lot of money in the game. And then like to upgrade it, by the time you get to upgrade it, you're on the last mission. But it does a lot of damage, and it has a lot of bullets.
Oh yeah.
And then if you make a bad purchase and your gun sucks, you got to replay missions and make money back. before you can go and make,
Yeah. You
or
gotta
you
back
gotta
go all the
find,
way back and play 8 in a row again. You know what I mean? To make all that money back. You
yeah,
know.
somebody
Yep.
saying Cowboys. Oh, God, yeah, of course there is. God, you say their name and they grow like weeds. But no, like this game, what really hit me was the first one I played, and I loved it. I was such a fan of it. I stayed up for the second one. I waited for the 40th day to come out, and I've got the 40th day, and the 40th day was so short. I beat it in like 5 hours,
Yeah. Too
five six
short.
hours,
Yeah. I mean, it's not
and
a
I was
long
like,
game.
and I'm like, fuck. Like, the first one was short, but I was hoping the second one would be longer, and it wasn't
Mhm.
as hard, and the story wasn't as good. The
Yeah.
40th day is still worth a play.
It's worth
It's
playing.
still
I'd say
worth
it's
a
worth
play.
playing.
It's
It's a
worth a
short little
play
fun game.
because the continuation of the story.
Yep.
The art wasn't as good either. Like the graphics wise wasn't as good. They tried like a
Yeah.
more of a cell shade almost,
Yeah. I know what you're
and I just
saying.
didn't like it. Ooh,
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I think that the best game in the series is probably the first one, and it was one of the really good co-op games. If you wanted that game, you wanted to play it in co-op. You didn't want to play it single player. You know, you want to play that game in co-op. You know what I'm saying? You want to
it's
play,
fun to play in
with
co-op,
someone
but
online.
to get the story, like I'm not gonna lie, the AI in it is retarded. It's stupid.
Oh yeah,
The best
the
thing
AI is not very smart. Yeah,
is it's not. It's a 2007 AI, so it's really not that smart. But what I liked was if you're behind cover for too long, they'll just lob grenades at you, and then you gotta get out the
yeah,
way. And then like as soon as you get out the way, the big guns will start shooting at you, like snipers and stuff like that. Like
yeah.
you gotta make do. Like you gotta play smart. And when you play by yourself, it's more of a challenge. Like that last level on the first game is such a challenge. It is such a challenge to play,
Yeah.
because just getting through the lobby of like the place you're supposed to be at, getting through
Like
the
it's like a
lobby.
hotel. It's like a hotel or something. You're talking about the first game.
Yeah, the last mission is
Yeah,
pretty
the
much
last mission.
you're
Even the first one, I
invading.
thought was tough.
It's so tough because you got enemies who you only shoot in the back. You got enemies who are more armored. You
Exactly.
got enemies just attacking, and there's barely any cover. And then
Yep.
so you got to make sure your weapons are strapped up and good. You know, instead of a sniper rifle, you may just have an RPG, and like you got to wait till the next time mid mission when you can switch your weapons out.
Yeah. I like
And
also the
it's
back
not
to
like
back.
And it's not like, oh, we switch weapons and you have ammo for that weapon now. No, you still gotta find ammo for your special weapon.
Yeah.
And like during these levels, I highly, if you play this game, look for the
I have.
briefcases. The briefcases that are extra optional things, look for them because they'll give you all the cash you need to upgrade weapons.
Exactly. Yep.
And I'll tell you what, the secondary, go with the MP5 or the P90. I'll
I
tell you
love the
that.
P90.
On your main gun, don't go with any shotguns. And
Too slow.
the last three guns on that whole thing are a waste of money. Stick with the M29 Saw or the PKM.
Yep.
Those are the best guns. Or secondary AK or the Fennec.
Yeah.
That's what you stay with.
Well, the
Stay with
problem
those
is
guns.
like, yeah,
Upgrade them.
yeah.
They do
The
so much
problem is
damage.
with the shotgun, it reloads too slow. For certain
It's too
missions, it's good.
slow.
It's just not fast enough. You need like machine guns and automatic rifles and stuff like that. You can't for some missions it's fine if you're doing like stealth and you have the close combat, but you have enemies coming from left, right, behind you, all different directions. You know, and that's why
Now,
I like the back to back. You can go back to back,
yeah.
and and,
Oh,
and
yes.
like it's just like there's what I notice is there's so many enemies coming from all different directions. It's tough to like keep up until you really get used to the pace, but it's a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
I remember the second mission, when you're in, I believe it's Afghanistan or Iraq. I believe it's Afghanistan.
Yep.
They have suicide bombers, and they have to like they run at you and like they'll like
Yeah.
blow themselves
Like
up next to you. But
kamikaze.
the cool thing is though, you also look badass. Like it's not like, oh, you're just two regular soldiers. No, like, you're armored up. Like,
Hmm.
and I'll tell you a little secret. It's funny. I bought this mask, and like I was such an Army of Two fan. I took one of the designs from the paintball mask and I put it
Yeah.
on as like. If you remember what Kane came back wearing, that like asylum mask, it was like that. It was a pissed off mask,
Yes. Yes.
but it had the happy face on it, like yellow happy face with
Oh,
the
that's pretty
bullet.
cool. Yeah.
And I painted that mask myself.
That's
And I
pretty
have it
cool.
at my house somewhere. I think it might be at my dad's house somewhere, but like in storage or something. But I made that mask, and like everybody was like, "Oh, where'd that come from?" I'm like, Army of Two. Like, I'm a huge Army of Two fan, which leads
Yeah.
me into my views of the third game. Third game played very well. It played well.
Yeah.
Story was horrible. Hated the story. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody because if you
Yeah.
play all three games, it's a good payout. But just so bad. Like it was so lazy writing. You can see like EA had given up on it and it was a cash grab. And it could
Yeah.
have been a cool story. Could have been a very cool story.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But they brush over what happens in two, and then three you just pick up where it makes no sense. I don't like it. I
Yeah.
Is it worth a play if it's cheap enough? Like I put it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
If it's like $5, $10, pick it up, play it. It's not bad. But you play as generic characters. Yeah, guys, smash that like button if you like what you're hearing. We're here every week, every Monday. Subscribe, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.
Absolutely.
But we have fun, man. It's a fun game to sit down and play. But when you get into the third part, man, the third game, it's just like two generic characters. They don't even have good names. Their names are Alpha and Bravo. Like what?
Yeah.
Their masks are
That's not
not
real
anything
names.
special.
That's more like waypoints at like a mission for SOCOM or something like that. You know.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
You
It's
know.
it's very tactical, but no
You're not playing it.
backstory about them.
No. You're not playing it for the story. You're playing it for the action.
Yeah,
That's the only reason you really play if you're a fan.
that one you play
I
reaction. The first
Yeah.
one had a good story to it. I thought the
Oh
story was
yeah.
good.
Yeah. It
The
was
second
actually.
one could have been better. Like I think they kind of rushed it a little bit.
Hmm.
Like they go to Shanghai to start they go to China to start their PMC, and then Shanghai gets invaded by like this out of nowhere militant group that has tanks and
Yeah.
you know armored vehicles and the top equipment. You're like this came out of nowhere. Like so, I find that one kind of eh. I like the story in the first one though. I think the first one can be rebooted and have its own retcon series. It's still good enough to retcon its series and have it,
I
play
agree.
out better.
Yeah. But
You
is it
know,
worth it? Is someone's gonna is it's all about, is the developer or someone gonna think it's worth remastering? You know what I mean? That's the
well, that's
thing.
the thing though. EA has that property still,
Hmm.
and when it came out, I think the trademark for it and the intellectual property rights were going to be ending in like 2018. They re-upped. The same thing with my game for next week, where I'll get into a little bit.
Hmm.
You know, this, they re-upped on the trademark. I'm like, this game hasn't been sold on PlayStation Market for a long time. It's been on PlayStation now forever. It's been on, all the older Xbox Game Passes forever.
Yep.
You're not making a lot of money from it. Why
No.
not let another studio pick it up and run with it?
Yeah. Well, maybe they want to put it on their
Yeah.
they have like EA Play Pro, like their subscription
No, it's
service,
not even on that.
and that sucks.
Man, I wish back in the day we had some good coffee playing these games all night, like we do nowadays. Speaking of coffee, we do
Yep.
have some good coffee nowadays. Our new sponsor, Monkey Cult Coffee. Use promo code OTBS Sports at checkout. Save yourself 10% at monkeycultcoffee.com. I can't stress this enough, guys. A great bourbon chocolate coffee, infused coffee.
I love it.
I get a cold brew every morning. My wife makes it. I had to wake up at
Yep.
6 o'clock this morning, and I was not a happy camper. She was not a happy camper. But what made our morning better was some Monkey Cold coffee, that bourbon infused chocolate coffee.
Yeah,
And
it's
especially
good.
in a cold brew, it just brings out the flavors so much.
Me, I go hot. I like even if it's like 95 degrees out in the summer. I don't drink iced coffee. I'll drink hot coffee in the morning.
Well, it's because you are ancient.
Always, always.
You are ancient.
Um,
When it's cold up.
yeah. Also, we have Ken Fry, host of the Batcave, and Not Your Average Change is looking for support for all girls travel softball team. To support the team, the girls in travel and costs, donate to them. They're always looking for help, looking for equipment, stuff like that. Reach out to Ken Fry, who hosts the Batcave. So they're always looking for for help. So if you're willing to help, their team, with anything they need, just contact Ken Fry. What's up, Ken? What's going on, man? Ken
Are
Fry
you on
says, "What's
Kenny
up,
Fry right
fellas?
there?
I'm at the Shinedown concert at Wilkes Bar." Oh, Shinedown. I like them. I like that band.
Yeah, he's at 3 Days Grace too. I think he's at 3 Days Grace there
Yeah,
too.
I hope
Well,
it's a
man,
good show.
enjoy
I
the
hope you have
concert.
fun. Yeah.
And thank you for checking in while you're at the concert. I know, maybe
Yeah. Right.
Shinedown's a little boring tonight, and we're a little bit more entertainment for you.
Yeah.
But I believe Shinedown did have a song in the second game. They had part of the playlist. It was
I like the
part of the
music.
playlist.
In Army too, I like the music, especially in the first one. The
I think
music is
one of
cool.
the funny when you mentioned how you could like smack your
Yeah.
partner, or you
Headbutt
can
them.
like give them positive. But one of the
Yep.
positives is they take their guns and just in the middle of
Oh
combat.
yeah,
Just,
I forgot about that. Like where they're doing like the guitar thing. Like you could. That's the cool thing about it, the interaction between the two players, especially if you're playing co-op. That just makes it
yeah.
so much more fun. You just do that the whole game, like in between missions and stuff. Update: Ken Fry Mets up 2-0. How about the Braves? Are the Braves getting their ass kicked again? They
I
lost
don't
two in a
know.
row. Oh
I
no,
can
the
care less
series is
about
over. They play
the.
the Reds.
But yeah, like you said, like, with this game, I want somebody to. For me, a remaster would do good, but I need a retcon. I need to see Salem and Rios be badasses for multiple games. I
Yeah.
don't need them to be on the moral quandary. I want them to be the baddest motherfuckers out there. I
Yep.
want an Army of Two where they're bad again. And I'll tell you why, because Army of Two, the first one, had some great.
Well, I always says no
It was
zeros are the
they
last
had
as
some
well.
great cutscenes, and one of the cutscenes is right before you go into China on the fifth mission. You're on a
Irene
train.
says the Yankees lost. All right, top of the sixth. Okay, they better not lose to the Reds. That's all I gotta say. Go ahead, Evan.
But so they're on like the cutscenes is you're on a train, and Salem just gets his ass beat by this big ass guard,
Yeah.
and
Right.
like he's like getting thrown around boxes. So finally he gets thrown into a box and smacks his face, and he's like, "Oh, that hurt." And so the guard grabs him. He looks to the side, sees the train door open, and he goes to throw him, and
Oh.
all you see is Rios just catch him, and he's like, "Thanks, man." And Rios just throws him into a box. It's just like just no regard to Salem whatsoever. And so the guard's like all muscled up, and you know how big Rios is in the game.
Oh
I thought this
yeah,
was a
yeah,
badass moment because Rios has a scar on his face. He gets a scar on
yeah.
his
He's
face,
like a
so
like a
his
couple of
mask
scars.
has
Yeah.
like
Yep.
wear and tear on one side.
Yep.
And so all you see is Salem with his Rios with his mask down, and he's like got that grim reaper look on it. And the
Yep.
guard comes up trying to be muscled up to him, and you see Rios just cocks back and kills him. Like just murders the dude. I'm like, see, that's
Thanks
what
for
I want to
throwing me
see
in
in
a
the game.
box, you SOB.
But that's like that's another thing too is like I love that brotherly bond we get in games between characters.
Yeah.
So when they,
Yes.
if you lose one of them, not saying it happens in the series because you'll see what happens, but like it means a lot if something happens to them. You get invested into these characters because they are like brothers, or they
Yep.
are like father and son, or or they are husband and wife, something.
Yeah.
You get invested in
Yeah.
these characters. And I
Hmm.
feel that with Rios and Salem. I feel like they are like brothers, military brothers, Then they took
Yeah.
this link together to go into a private military contracting.
Yeah.
And it's just such a good
That's all right.
story that like it has such a good premise to it and it can be redone.
Meiko says, any thoughts on a game called Atlas Fallen?
Atlas
I've
Fallen.
heard
I
of that
haven't
game.
seen it yet.
What type of game is it? Is it RPG, ARPG? I've heard of
It's
it,
a third person shooter.
but I'm not 100%. One nothing Braves, sweet. He says one nothing Braves. I've definitely heard of it. Is it out? I've definitely heard of it,
Uh,
but I'd have to really look it up because I've been playing like 10 different games the past like month and a half. So
oh man, there's a few series I want to get into, man. We're still on touch of the series that like touched my heart. I picked Army of Two because I was hoping Paul would feel good enough to feel. He's just a little under the weather. I wanted
I
I
thought
wanted
so.
Paul to
I'll
be on
get
here
you
because I
this.
know Paul's a big fan of Army of Two himself.
Yep.
And but oh man, just tell me some of the memories he had with it. For me, like I said, I remember playing with my cousins and then
Yeah.
really getting into the series. And
Yeah.
then
I
you
mean,
know they had comic books that came out about it too. That's really really good.
oh, that's cool. Yeah, I never read the comic books. I've only really played the first two. I didn't really play the third because I don't know. I just didn't. I must have probably
You
just
didn't
played a
have
bunch of
Tyson and
other
Leo.
stuff.
Like
You
they
know.
were third characters in me either. I didn't
You
like
know.
that. And
So
like I said, we're gonna get into our viewers chat now. Tell us what you're playing, or tell us about your experiences with Army of Two or Uncharted. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of both,
I love. Yeah, I like both.
especially.
Uncharted, I love more, but Army of Two is also good. Says Mako especially, man, if I hop on, it'd be a 2 hour show with the times of Army of Two. Well, that's the way it was when we lost you Evan the other night. You know,
Yeah,
we
I
were
came
we
back
were
on.
on,
It
we
was
were on
like
like
hour
we
and
were
20
like on
minutes.
like an hour and 20 minutes extra, and like I was lagging the whole time, which I apologize to the viewers. I was
I also
so annoyed. I don't know why, but me and Paul were just talking about all kinds of stuff. Even though it was
I do
more
apologize.
football talk.
Friday,
It's all right. Yeah,
well, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we had literally nonstop rain, and
yeah,
during that time, Friday night, we had the worst thunderstorm possible here in Louisiana,
yep,
and it just literally wiped out my internet. So I tried to
yeah,
get back on. Like my system rebooted 4 or 5 times, but I see that you guys went over an hour a few times.
yeah.
But like I
There's
said,
one
like
thing I
Army of
wanted
Two,
to.
man.
Yeah, Army of Two is great. Go ahead. Say what you got to
But
say about
Army of
Army of
Two
Two.
was just I'll tell you the story because it's kind of a funny story. I was such a big fan of it. There's been a few games I've done this to. I actually wrote EA and asked to write for the next. Uh, I asked to be a writer on the next Army of Two game
Did you get
because I
no
wanted to be
answer?
able.
Or they
No,
answered?
I
They
got
just
an answer. I did get an answer from them. The only people I didn't get an answer for when I was trying to like reach out for that game
yeah,
was Rockstar because I wanted to be a
yep,
writer on the next Max Payne. Like I said, I want to
yeah,
help write the story, come up with ideas.
yeah. It says
Oh man, those crawfish end up in the street. I'm not that far south, man.
yeah. Thank
Not that
goodness,
far south. Anymore.
or a tornado to blow your house. There's one thing I want to say.
Listen, I
Um,
was gonna send Katie some crawfish, but you can't send live seafood to Pennsylvania.
yeah, I wanted to say that game Atlas Fallen. It says May 16th release, Mexico.
Okay, that's about a month away.
So that's what it's saying to me. It looks good. The
But
game looks good. I'll have
so
to like look and watch some
my
stuff on it.
response from EA was, "Thank you for your inquiry. We glad you are a fan and would love to write for us, but
Hmm.
we have no plans for the Army of Two series."
Yeah.
And that kind of broke my heart. I was like, "Oh, I wanted that so bad."
You're like,
And
oh
like,
no.
I pre-recorded today, 6:49 p.m. I miss buying my own games. Oh,
Yeah,
burning your
burning
own
them.
games.
Yep. Yeah, you burn them on CD. Yeah.
I remember when Tomb Raider, the fifth one first came out. A friend of mine got it off Pirate Bay, and it
Yeah.
was so buggy. Like it was a full game, but it was so buggy and bad
Hmm.
you couldn't
Yeah.
play it. Like she was gonna jump and like her body would morph and like catch onto the cliff. It
Yeah.
was just so fun. It was so fun. it was so fun. But I remember like saying that game. I used to be a writer for.
Itchy Cats was
Itchy
the
Cat.
bomb.
What is Itchy
Mexico
Cat?
says.
What
Maybe
is Itchy Cat?
before your time, probably, Evan.
Jesus God. I get all
I've
these
heard of
dinosaurs.
it,
I get so.
but Mexico's gonna have to enlighten me also.
This game came out in 1964. It was mechanical. It
Oh,
was a Japan. It was a Japanese exclusive.
1964. Oh my goodness.
It was a Japanese exclusive from Nintendo.
Games they were okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like you have certain
Yeah,
games like
I can never. I tried
the
that whole.
torrent sites like that.
I I used to go on the torrent sites and try to download movies and stuff, and I would always get like viruses and stuff. So I never could be like a good, I'd find good stuff. I would always find viruses. The amount of
Yeah,
times my dad had to clean out my laptop because it was like, "What are you trying to download?" I was like, "I was trying to download a movie." He was like,
you're
"Oh, you got the
clicking on
wrong
like the wrong thing.
representation."
And when you download like when you use that kind of stuff, you gotta like use a VPN. You gotta be careful, you know. Sometimes you click the wrong thing. Everything. Always gotta be careful what you're clicking. You know what I mean? I made that
Yeah,
mistake
yeah.
a couple decades ago. I first had like got on the internet, and I was like, "Whoops, I did something to the computer."
Dude, my laptop was so bad. It was like as soon as you like went to open Chrome or anything, it would open like 1,000 pages, like, and then it
Oh,
would
that's
take you like
malware. Yeah.
it was done. That laptop was done. You couldn't do nothing with it. But I was like, I'd rather just go buy you a new laptop than like work on this
Yep.
piece of shit. He's like, from now on, if you want movies, I'll download them for you. Just let me know. And it's just
Exactly.
how it's made. But
What's up, Joe?
what's up, fellas? What's
Sully
up,
says,
Joe?
"What's
What's
up,
up, Sully?
fellas? What's
Not
going
much,
on,
man.
man?"
Talking some Army 2, some Uncharted.
Yep.
But this is now the Q&A section. Tell us what you're playing and what you're waiting for. Um, I threw a brand new Q&A because I downloaded a movie from LimeWare once. The virus is big. Oh, LimeWare. Oh,
Oh, LimeWire.
download
Oh my god. Oh my
LimeWire.
goodness. It's so virus and that like Napster, like LimeWire was the one I always used. Like that was the one. A lot of it, like
Talking about
that's
like
why everybody used
2006,
that back in the day.
2007. I
Yep.
remember I had an old box. Like my first computer was like an old box computer, like
Yep.
from like the late '90s, early 2000s. So I
Yeah.
was like sitting there, and my stepdad was left-handed, so like, I had to use the left hand. I
Yeah.
didn't know how to switch it
Hmm.
over, so I was like, I can try to use my left hand to do stuff. And I was
Yeah.
downloading all this music on my MP4 player. My mom was like, "What's wrong with the computer?" I was like, "I don't know." Every time she would open up the tab or open something up, it was like free iPhone one. Claim your prize now. You've won a
Yeah.
car. Hot single milfs in your area. I'm like,
Oh
I,
my. Oh
I
my
didn't do
goodness.
it. I
Yeah.
didn't do it.
Yeah. Some of the stuff is
Guess
crazy,
what?
but there's it says LimeWire and AOL. Michael says LimeWire and AOL overnight downloads for a song. Oh, it would take hours and hours. But then there was
Just
a
for the
time
song
like,
to be like a bad
yeah.
quality song and having a remix in it.
But when I started using Pirate Bay, it was much faster. It got to the point where you could download something in like 10 minutes.
And back then it was like, oh,
It's
easy.
like 10 years ago. I'm talking about like 8 to 10 years ago. I used to be downloading stuff quick, but in the back, like when LimeWire's around, you'd be like, oh, there's 20 hours left on my download, or like 10 hours left on my download. You know what I mean? Like, take forever, forever. I'm
And
talking
then and then
like
you
five
would download a
megabytes.
movie. It would download a movie and like you'd be like, oh man, I've been waiting to watch this movie. It's still in theaters, and it would be like a pirate bay of dude holding a camcorder in the background.
Oh
When
yeah,
you,
yeah. They like record on their phone like in the theater or something like that's
it
so
was
like
like it was like say like uh what movie could it be like 300? It'd be like 300
anything.
good
Yeah.
quality, perfect picture. You would click on it to do it a camcorder, sweat,
Oh, 300? 300.
in the background.
I saw 300 in the theater. Michael says, "Well, lucky you. I had an internet that you had to use a crank the crank the wheel to use it." BC days. Oh man, it used to be so slow. Oh my goodness, dial up,
Yeah, when get off the phone.
DSL.
Get off the computer. I have to use the phone.
Oh yeah, yeah. You go to like you go to use the phone and like beep beep, like oh someone's using the internet, like the opposite. You know what I mean? Get off the
The computer starts
phone.
having Tourette's and starts falling down.
And
Oh
my sister
god.
was always on the phone for like 2 or 3 hours with like her friends at night. I was like, get off the phone, get off the phone. Oh man. But there's
I
one
feel
thing I want to
bad for
say.
you.
That game that Paul mentioned, looks like a lot of fun. It looks like it's like explore, combat, you know, kind of like apocalyptic type of game. Analyst
Is this
Fallen.
first or third?
I don't know if it's first or third person to be honest. But I heard of it like last year, and you never know when games are going to come out, so I just forgot about it. I just like, oh, I'll wait till it
Trust me,
comes out.
I'm still waiting on Agent from Rockstar.
They need to do.
All right, well,
I haven't decided next week's game yet, to be honest.
I'm gonna go with mine, and
Put it
you'll
on the
probably
Twitter.
follow up. I'm gonna go with NFL Blitz and Blitz the League.
I am gonna go Madden. Madden series. But
you,
more old school.
you disappoint me. At least it
Why?
wasn't Tiger Woods PGA. I'll give it that.
Well, Tiger Woods PGA is awesome. I don't give a crap what anybody says. It's awesome. It's
No
fun.
Minecraft.
I've played Minecraft. I played Minecraft Dungeons a lot, like where it's like an RPG and you have to like
No,
fight
man,
enemies
I
and
hate
stuff.
Minecraft.
That one I play a lot.
Minecraft is dead right now. Wait for it to rebirth in the next
Oh, I don't
5 years
know.
or something like
Does
that.
Mako? Do you play it in ray tracing with ray tracing? So I know you got an NVIDIA graphics card. So you play with ray tracing. I've heard it's unbelievable the ray tracing. I don't know if he's ever tried that, but
Well,
it
he needs
probably
a mod
lags
pack
your
for that
system.
too.
What's up?
And probably you need mod packs for that, like ray tracing can come in
Yeah,
and
there's like an
like clear
update. There's an
water and stuff.
update for it. There's like an update for it. They released it like a year or two ago, something like that.
That game's gonna stay around for like 30 years. It's gonna be
People,
on like 8 different systems.
that game is still huge because you can build anything in it. It's like
I'm telling you, you're
RPG,
gonna be able to play on like
like world
the
builder
TVs that come
type.
with the new fridges.
Yeah,
You're gonna be able to play on the fridge, like to sit there and play
it says
it.
it says we received 134 votes to blow up my city on Twitter. Mexico City lives.
Guys, we gotta blow up this city. Come on, guys, we have to blow up the city.
Yeah,
1,000 likes and we blow up the city. Come on, we have to do this.
that would be
We
fun.
have to.
You know, I played more like City Builder, or like and that type of thing than Minecraft. That's a little different. It's a little more realistic.
Well, Dan, I've been playing. We've been playing our games this week and playing each other's games.
Yep.
You know, a game I just started up again,
What?
Assassin's Creed 2.
Oh, I like Assassin's Creed. I was playing Assassin's Creed 3 recently.
Well, I will be talking about NFL Blitz for 64, but the two main games I will be talking about will be the non-NFL ones, the Blitz the League and Blitz the League 2,
Yeah.
which were not part of the NFL,
No, they
which
weren't. No.
but were the best adult. Here's another thing. You want to talk about writing EA for this and
Yep.
writing, Activision, whoever owns it, I
hmm
believe. I forget. I think it's TH. No, it was Midway Games who owns it. I don't know who owns it right now. I forget who owns it.
Midway,
Midway
yes.
went
They made a
under.
lot of good games. Midway was a good. They made a lot of good games. Midway.
Mortal Kombat was one of them, but besides
Hundreds
Mortal
of
Kombat, they didn't have
games.
a big game. But this one could have been their big game.
The American Spencer, bro, I
And
have American Spencer says, bro, I have for PlayStation Tom Brady's backyard football.
I remember that. I remember that. But
Oh
this
man.
football league was so fun because it was adult themed. This was 80s football all over again.
Yep.
You can sit there and juice your players to the gills with steroids.
Yep. And when you break a bone, you get a cortisone shot like in your arm, and you had to like remember you had to move like the like the stick to try and get
To
it
get
like
the
in the
right
right spot and
accurate.
get the percentage right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you had like this was just a fun game. It was like the dirty of football, like the dirtiest football game you can play. And I'm like,
Yep. All
that
teasing
right
it.
now, yeah, he played the first and second one. He
Yeah.
plays Quentin Staines of the New
Yep.
York Nightmare.
Yep.
And I love that game. I really did because you get like one, you create your own team. It's your
Yeah.
team. Well, you could be from anywhere. You could be from uh, uh, like Kickapoo, Kansas. Like the amount
Yeah,
of names
yeah,
you could pick for your team. It was just amazing. They
it's a
had like
fun game.
50 different 50 different graphics. All of them are color changeable. Man,
Hmm.
I'll give it that game next week. But oh man, I'm getting into it. But I asked EA to write for that game.
Yeah,
I wanted to take that as my own project, write a story for it, continue on what happened in two.
yep,
Like I was gonna, like I had a, I swear to God, if I had my own notebook, I'll show you, because I would partake in something,
yep,
and all these ideas would come to my head, and I would sit in my bed and literally just write down
yeah,
stories
yep,
for games that I like.
cool. Yeah,
So just sit there. I like every and then
says
every team had a captain. I
Maker
love to
says I'd
hear
love
more
to
shows.
top
It's
10
so
games of all
hard.
time. Oh my goodness,
You know
man,
what? For the
Sonic's on
last
there.
20 minutes of next week's show, I'll write down my 10, and you write down your 10,
Yeah, it's
and
I'm gonna have to exclude some great games. I mean,
oh man,
man,
a lot of great
I don't
games.
know, man. That's gonna be a tough list, but it'll be probably mostly retro and older games, and probably
Yeah.
some recent ones in the past like 10 years that I've played, but half of it'll be old games, you know.
Oh man. All right. Well, this
Well,
week
there's
we
one thing.
really.
Yeah, there's one thing I want to say. For Madden, we're going to talk about, the evolution and then the down. I think that Madden's gone downhill. That's what we're going to talk about, like the game itself, the old ones, comparing them to the new ones. The stuff I missed about the new ones and stuff and all that kind of stuff. So, I think
Right.
you're doing a football game. I'll do a football game too. We might as well stick with the same thing. Says I'll give you mine too. And yes, Minecraft. Yep, Minecraft will be on it. Absolutely. So will Prince of Persia for and so will Army of Two. I think those three will be on Mako's list. I think. At least I think so.
All right. Well, this week, guys, we really poured our hearts out to this one, man. We just so many games that we talk. That just this is what I love about it because we get into these games. We get like I wasn't gonna pick Blitz League this week, but him talking about football and stuff like that before the game, like,
Yeah.
oh, I got Blitz League over there. I'm like, I might go play that tonight. I really would. I really
I
want to go
might
play
go
that
play
tonight.
Madden 08. I might go play Madden 08 tonight
Yeah,
with
see, and it makes you want to play these games again.
updated rosters and graphics. That's why the emulators are great.
That's how you beat
You
your
got a
emulators
copy of it.
every time.
Asteroids. Maker says Asteroids, Pitball, Super Breakout, Defender, Classics. What about Mortal Kombat? That's got to be on
That's a
there.
good one.
Contra is probably a top one for me. There's so many.
I'm gonna
There's so
I'm gonna
many.
blow you guys out of the water with my list.
Our list is before your time, Evan.
Yeah,
A little
back
bit.
when dinosaurs roamed the land.
Hey, I'm not that. Come on, I may have grazed, but I ain't that old. I'm an
Sitting there,
80s, 90s kid.
we played
You
games.
know?
Fire.
Oh man.
But
Oh,
I'm big as man. I was gonna say thank you guys for tuning in tonight.
I'm
Danny,
Danny.
thank you for being here. And I want to thank you for
Absolutely,
doing
man.
the work this morning on trying to get some gameplay for Army of Two. Unfortunately, we
I
couldn't
had a
get
little
it
bit of
get it
computer
cut.
issues, so I think I fixed my problem. So, maybe if you want, we'll do some gameplay, for the Blitz a little bit. I'll try to do some,
Yeah.
and I'll try to get some clips, and we'll see what we can put together.
Now that we have a lot more time to do it and get it done and know
Yep.
how we're doing it, we'll definitely have
Yeah.
something for you guys next week to show you guys and go over. And I'm
Yep.
excited because let him go over Blitz with me. Oh man, one of my favorite games in Solid again, just because of
Oh,
the adult stuff. Like
it's actually, the Blitz is just a lot of fun. It's like one of those backyard football games, and I like the injuries. You can break bones in it and stuff, and you just keep going. Like it's pretty fun. So
yeah,
we'll have fun
but
talking about it and stuff.
I'm big as
Hey everybody, Evan had to take off. I just want to thank you for joining us for the stream. We had a lot of fun talking about Army of Two and Uncharted. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m., check out Extra Innings with Joe Sullivan and EP. They're going to talk baseball. Their show is excellent. If you like baseball, want to talk about baseball early in the season. Talk about the new rules and everything. Tomorrow 8 p.m. Extra Innings, and I'm Danny, and we'll be back next week. And everybody have a good night. Take care.